When I'm outside playing fetch with my dogs, I last longer. I can throw the ball a lot longer. I can run them down. I can wrestle with my dogs. I'm not out of breath like I was when I was on the cigs. With all those chemicals and the tar and the carcinogens, being out of breath, coughing constantly, being stopped up, having headaches, because I remember when I smoked cigarettes, I had headaches. I would wake up with headaches. I felt like I was just stuffed up. I was constantly blowing my nose, coughing up mucus, all that crud. You guys know, if you're smokers out there and you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about, because you deal with it every day, don't you? You don't have to anymore. There's this thing called vaping. Today's video is going to be talking about vaping side effects. I'm going to tell you my experiences with vaping, some side effects, my closest friends' journeys with it. I'm going to talk to you guys about that, but I want to let you know I am no doctor, okay? So all of these things that I'm telling you, they're just my 2 cents, so go ahead and take them with a grain of salt. These are just my experiences, my closest friends' experiences, family's experiences, and people that I've met, okay? So for all you cigarette smokers out there that want to know the side effects of vaping, I think you better ask yourself, can it get any worse than smoking cigarettes and all those crappy ass chemicals you're ingesting each pull you take? Well, first of all, with vaping, you've got PG, VG, flavoring, and nic. Four different components at the most versus 3,000 to 5,000 chemicals. You guys do the math. So yeah, if you're a cigarette smoker and you're watching this, switch on over. Come from the dark side to the light side. My experiences. Okay, this isn't about my story, but my experiences with vaping as far as, side effects. When I first started vaping, I was vaping an 80 PG, 20 VG blend. And I vaped that for about a year. My senses came back. My sense of smell came back. Sense of taste. When I stopped smoking cigarettes and changed to vaping, my sense of taste, tripled. I mean, I could taste things again. It was amazing. Amazing. So if I was going to eat a filet mignon, I was going to get all that flavor. I was never really in bad shape. I played baseball in college. I was an athlete. After I got married, I was in my mid to late 20s. Smoking cigarettes, walking down the street, I could feel myself getting out of breath. Well, when I switched, all that went away. I could walk miles and miles and miles and not be out of breath. Gotta give credit to vaping there. One of my buddies, in his early 20s, he was a triathlete. Then he started smoking in his mid-20s. He smoked for about 5-6 years, and he stopped doing triathlons. He became really out of shape. He couldn't jog up the street without his chest feeling like it was on fire, without him coughing up mucus, being out of breath. This is a guy that went from being a triathlete to smoking cigarettes, went on the downhill train very fast as far as being unhealthy. He switched to vaping around the time that I switched to vaping, and within 2 months, he could breathe again. He could jog up the street without his chest and his lungs feeling like they were on fire. He wasn't out of breath. He wasn't clogged up. Guess what? Now he's doing triathlons again. He's a 32-year-old man in some of the best shape he's ever been in his life. He's in the shape he was when he was 22 before he started smoking cigarettes. He vapes every day. Vapes every day. Another buddy of mine played football in college, started smoking shortly after he graduated. He got up to 350 pounds. He was wheezing. This is a 28-year-old guy wheezing, walking up the stairs, 350 pounds, smoking cigs. I was worried about him. Got him to switch to vaping. He can breathe now. He's not out of breath. He's not wheezy like he was before. A lot of people ask me, do you have side effects? I'll tell you right now, with vaping, there are people with allergies. A year into vaping, I noticed I was having allergies. When I first started having these allergies, the first thing I did was get on the internet, research, because, vaping is new. There's a lot of forums out there that give you great knowledge. A lot of people were saying, oh, it's PG allergy, PG this, PG that. So I assumed I had a PG allergy. And you know what assuming does? It makes an ass out of you and me. People were saying, well, PG causes you to cramp. When you inhale PG or you ingest it, once it enters your body, the PG metabolizes into lactic acid. And so people were saying, well, you're cramping because of that. Well, it wasn't the type of cramping that you're thinking of where you wake up in the middle of the night and it's like, oh! I've had those cramps, and those cramps are due to dehydration, not enough potassium, you're not getting the vitamins, the minerals, like magnesium, all that stuff. So I thought I had an issue with PG cramping. For me, it was the type of cramping where Constantly, I was walking and cramping. My calves were cramping. It was like my calves would ball up. It wouldn't be painful, but I could feel it. They would ball up and they would slowly release, okay? I would walk up the stairs, feel it. I would walk down the street, feel it. It was just got annoying. It wasn't painful in any way. Well, I thought it was a PG allergy, so I went to VG. It actually started to progressively get worse. So I was like, what the hell? You know, what's going on here? So I went to the doctor, and they took my blood. They checked all my minerals, blood cell count, checking in on heavy metals, all that stuff. They said that they would call me if anything were to arise. Any problems, they would call me and have me come back in. I ended up following up with them because they never called me. When I got a hold of them, you know, the nurse told me everything looked good, blah, blah, blah. Fast track a couple months, having the same issues. Still not vaping PG, 100% VG. It's progressively getting worse. The cramping has moved from my calves up to my hamstrings. While it's still cramping, it's not painful, it's just annoying. I could flex my calf and it could just like stay still and then slowly release. It was like a non-painful Charlie horse. It was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced. It started to get deep into my muscles, and every time I took a hit, it would start to itch. I would get an itch in my muscles. And I was like, what the hell? So I went back to the doctor. I met with a different doctor in the same practice, and he was looking at my charts, and he said, you were here 3 months ago. Did they not tell you? And I said, what? They told me everything was fine. And he was like, he just shook his head. He was like, you've got hypothyroidism. Basically, what hypothyroidism is, your thyroid deals with your metabolism. Hypothyroid means your metabolism has slowed down, which means you're not metabolizing things at an average or a fast rate. You're metabolizing things at a slow rate, and there are many different side effects to having hypothyroidism. So he was saying one of them could be cramping. You know, you're dealing with cramping, you're dealing with muscle aches, you're fatigued. I was fatigued. I had muscle aches. I was cramping. It was like a muscle itch. If you're watching this and you have like a nut allergy, when you eat nuts and you have like, you know, a reaction and itchiness in the ears and throat and the nose, it was like that, but it was like in my leg muscles. I got on thyroid medicine literally within like a month. All those side effects went away. Now, every now and again, I'll have, you know, a little bit of cramping or a little bit of itch, but it goes away, okay? And that thyroid medicine has helped me. And what I figured out, I wasn't allergic to PG. My issue was, and I did a lot of research, when you're inhaling PG, propylene glycol, it metabolizes into lactic acid. So you gotta eat bananas, you gotta drink a lot of water, but it's something that's easily avoided. If you drink a lot of water, if you eat enough bananas or potassium, I take a multi-mineral, magnesium, all those minerals that you need. I drink 150 ounces of water a day. So if you drink a lot of water, you're staying hydrated. PG should not bother you. Now, people with actual PG allergies, it doesn't matter, but I'll go over that in a second. VG, on the other hand, metabolizes into sugar, okay? So I was having issues from the VG because when I was vaping the VG, since it metabolized into sugar, it was affecting my thyroid, okay? So that's where that came in. For me to vape more of a PG-based juice than a VG-based juice, it's better for my anatomy. And it all depends on your anatomy. Everybody's anatomy is different. So the VG caused my thyroid to get a little bit out of whack. I took the thyroid meds. It got right back on track. Now I know if I'm going to vape a VG-based juice, not to do it for a long period of time because it could, you know, cause my thyroid to go out of whack. So I just stick to my PG-based juices and I'm fine. You just got to learn what your body can deal with and what your body can't deal with. And for me, that's what it was. Flavors. A lot of these flavors out there, I'm allergic to. And that's what was causing me to have the itch in my muscles. That was a small allergy that I was having to the flavor that I was vaping. Over time, I became allergic to artificial flavorings even when I ingested them, even when I ate them. So like if I went to have like ice cream and I had like a butterscotch swirl, well, all of that is artificial. I would eat that and the next day I would have the itch in my legs. You know, it was like, it was just annoying as hell. It would go away, but it was annoying. And that was due to flavoring, the extracts, the artificial flavoring. Every now and again, you know, I have to vape an artificial flavoring and I'll just have to deal with the small little bugging allergy, but it goes away. It's not really a big deal. So those are the two side effects that I have dealt with, okay? Most of my buddies out there don't have any allergies. They don't have side effects to vaping. They could vape any flavor under the sun. They could vape 100% VG, 100% PG. It just doesn't bother them. It's just their anatomy. What I've realized is most people don't have issues. Now, there's a select few of all the vapors out there that are sensitive. Not allergic, but sensitive, like me, okay? One of my buddies, when he was vaping, he started to get rashes, small little rashes on his arms and legs, and he was freaking out, and he was doing all this research, and people were like, oh, it's a PG allergy. Well, not necessarily, okay? It's not necessarily a PG allergy. First thing I did was I took out the flavoring. I made him an unflavored juice, and he was like, oh man, I gotta have my flavoring, and I was like, no, you gotta start with unflavored. It's process of elimination. So we take the flavor out, and we start with just the PG, the VG, and the nicotine. And if you're still having the same issues, it's one of those, PG, VG, or the nicotine. And guess what? Those rashes went away. He had a small allergy to the flavor. It wasn't the PG, it wasn't the VG, it wasn't the nicotine, it was the flavoring. It was the flavoring from the company he was buying his juice from. Now, that doesn't mean it's bad. Everybody's anatomy is different, okay? Everybody's is. And like I said, most people don't have these symptoms. Most people can vape, not ever have an issue, okay? That's how the majority of the population is that are vapors. But if you do, remember, process of elimination. So if you're having rashes, you're having some sort of an issue, a spot on your forehead, pull one of the 4 of those components out, one at a time, whether it's the flavoring, the PG, the VG, and vape on those for a few days. And if the symptoms go away, like for example, if you pull the flavoring out and the symptoms go away, then it's the flavoring. If you pull the PG out, leave the flavoring in there, so you had the flavoring, the VG, and the nic, then it's the PG, okay? But a lot of these people are blaming it and saying, oh, it's the PG. It's automatically the PG. No, not necessarily, okay? I did a whole post on PG about 1.5 years ago. PG has been researched for 60, 70 years, okay? It was researched, it was tested on animals, they had it pumping in vents in hospitals. They've had PG in inhalers since the 50s, okay? It's supposed to help you breathe. PG is antibacterial. It's antiviral. It kills bacteria. Those are some of the side effects that I've had. Again, I love to give my knowledge and some of the research that I've done, and hopefully for those of you guys out there that are having some of these small allergies, you guys can fix them, because they're definitely fixable. You don't have to stop vaping. It's just something small that you're having to deal with, okay? Whether it's PG, it's VG, like for me it was VG for a while, or it's flavoring. You got to go in and do process of elimination, pull one of those things out. I hope that helps, guys. This is Rip Trippers. Let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to comment below. And remember, smoking is dead. Vaping is the future. And the future is now.